You and your family have decided to go out to eat at your favorite restaurant. As the dining experience is coming to an end, your server brings over the check, you give him or her your credit card, and he swipes it and brings back the copy for you to sign. Now comes the part that you have been dreading and that you've been thinking about since you walked in the door, as well as based your dining experience around, and that is how much to tip your server. Tipping influences and involves everyone throughout the entire United States because every time they walk into a restaurant, they have to deal with the process of tipping and how much to tip their servers. Now, this is important that you know about this topic because if you don't know how to properly tip, you can be seen by other people as either you don't know what you're doing or you're too generous, different things like that. Well, I have worked at Outback for over 4 years now. 3.5 would have been as a server. Therefore, my income and my livelihood have been based a lot around tipping and how much I make and the generosity of others. On top of that, I also have several friends and family members who are also part of the restaurant industry. Therefore, anytime we get together, we talk about tips percentage, how much we made, what kind of tips each person gave us. So, my experience and my knowledge on this matter speaks for itself. Well, tipping is a controversial issue throughout the entire United States, caused by a variety of tipping systems, people not really knowing and having the knowledge on how to tip, as well as a few other things. But mostly the solution to this problem is to wipe out that tipping system altogether and just have a set service charge on all checks. In order to understand why this is an issue, you need to understand the problem behind it and the roots. Well, Mark Burnett said in his dissertation that 10 to 15% on average is the tips you receive. Now, when you only make $2 to $3 an hour, more than half your income is towards those tips, and you work towards those tips. So when people don't tip you like you need them to, then you're barely making minimum wage, and it gets very difficult to live off those tips. Well, Lisa Jennings also stated that tipping can be very discriminatory, because you have people who are judging you, either the servers or the customers, from any point throughout the entire experience. For example, the minute a customer walks into the restaurant, they are being judged whether they are good or bad tippers, whether they're going to be a needy table or whether they're going to be a really easy table that you don't have to worry about. Now on the customer side, they are judging the servers based on how they look. In Lisa Jennings' research, she stated that girls who are attractive usually get tipped more than boys who are average looking. Well, now that you understand why this is a problem, you can start understanding the causes behind it. One of the first causes is we are taught how to tip through social norms and through our parents, and what they believe is the right way to tip is the right way we are told to tip. So as servers, when we are trained, we are told that you should do about 20% is about the average, while the general population believes that 10 to 15% is the average tips. Well, then when Ron Erglis did his research, he saw that this might cause a discrepancy in the tipping system, because you always have someone who's expecting more and not receiving what they want. He also found that on average, tables who are 7 or more, their average tips percentage goes from 15% to about 10 to 13%. So when you have those big party tables, you really don't want to give them the service that they need, because you know that they're not going to be giving you the tips that you need to survive. Now, Tom Vaughn found that there are several different forms of tipping systems throughout the entire United States, some of which are more common than others. Now, he saw that 3 of them, which are the really common in the United States, are the voluntary tipping that we're used to, the service charges, and then the banning tipping altogether. While he doesn't promote the banning tipping, he saw that the service charge and the voluntary tipping does, especially voluntary tipping, has some issues. That's why he said that service charges were the best way to go. Mark Burnett also found in his dissertation that on average, if you give that quality of service that people require, your tips really only increase maybe 1 to 2%, if that. So why should give it your all when you know you're not going to get what you need in return? So to fix this problem, you really need a solution, and I believe the best solution is to have the government pass a mandatory service charge that is throughout the entire United States in every restaurant on every check. For one, this solves the problem of having several different types of tipping systems. Everyone knows how to tip and what to tip because it's already on there. And it also helps with the price, the price change, because the tips that you were originally going to give them, it's just going to be the price of the service charge. So you're not really getting charged any different or any less. Another thing is that Ingrid Lynn also found that people who are part of the system and the restaurants that do have the system, that the employees think it's the just and fairest way to make sure that there is no gap in between who makes what and how much you make, that everyone's on the same level. Well, this practice is put into practice in Europe. And when I went to Italy, they had the service charge process going on for tipping. And I found it was very stressful, not stressful, but stress relieving, not big weight or anything like that, because I knew how much to tip, it was in the subtotals, and I didn't have to worry about it, don't have to worry about any social norms or anything like that. Therefore, it's pretty easy. Now, as I stated earlier, we had your counter arguments, but one of the biggest ones is without any tipping, that without the incomes or anything like that, servers aren't going to get it. But the tips are still going to be there. It's still going to be that flat charge, so you still get that money that you need. Well, in conclusion, I've stated why this is a problem and the causes behind it, as well as what I think is the best solution. So ultimately, you need to take action. Help raise awareness about this issue, and help me take a stand to have the government do the service charges and stuff like that. But if you don't believe in that, just teach people how the proper way to tip. And if we do that, and what I'm hoping we get that service charge done, then we don't have to sit there and think about that next time we go out to eat with their family about the dreadful and terrible way that we have to do our service and what we need to tip our servers.